Yeah, I'm not even gonna hide the fact that I completely forgot about Ghost of Tsushima. Hey guys, this is your Kite speaking. Here's my thoughts and review on Paper Mario the Origami King. Now, I know this is weird, this type of video coming out for me, since mostly I just do Let's Plays. But I love the Paper Mario series as a whole, even the bad ones, because at the end of the day, I just want Paper Mario to be a good series. And this series is very highly thought out in my head. I have enjoyed every game, except for one of them. And well, I just want y'all to know what I think about them, and I'm curious what y'all think of this game. Now, I know what some people are going to say, "Oh, look, this is another gamer who wants a remake of Paper Mario The Thousand Door and talks nothing but bad things about the new Paper Mario games." Now, yes, I would love a remake of Paper Mario The Thousand Door, but that's because I have enjoyed the game so much. But I know it's not a perfect game, and when it comes to the story, I actually think Super Paper Mario has the better story. And yes, I do hate on Sticker Star, but I don't hate on Color Splash, and that's because I've never played it, so I'm gonna be fair to it and not talk about it a whole lot. And no, I don't hate on Sticker Star just because it's not Thousand Year Door or Super Paper Mario. I just like it just because it wasn't fun for me, and I think it has some awful gameplay, in my opinion. And for those of you who don't know what an opinion is, well, here's the definition: a noun, a view or judgment form about something that is not necessarily based on facts or knowledge. At the end of the day, this is nothing but my opinion about Paper Mario Origami King, or PMOK, because Paper Mario Origami King is too long of a title to say. And if you disagree with it, then that's fine. I'd rather be in a group with team people where everyone has a different opinion about say topic than being in a group with team people that share the same opinion about say topic. It makes it for a more interesting conversation and it can lead to new thoughts about say topic. Now that's all cleared up, let's get started on PMOK. It starts off with you, aka as Mario, driving with Luigi, heading to Toad Town, where the Ogami event is being taken place. But it's a ghost town, no one's been seen, and nothing's going on. After some back and forth with Luigi, you drive to Peach's castle as you look around to see how much of a mess this place gotten. You meet up with Peach, who's definitely been turned into an origami, and the music here is creepy sounding, as well as the sound effects speaks your words, as they are typing. The creepiness is drive a bit more as Peach is asking you some weird questions, letting you know that something's going on here. Moving on, you get sent down to the dungeon where you meet with Bowser's minions. Talk a bit. After they leave, you hear someone asking you for help with a weird symbol on the ground. You, as a player, walking over it, learning your first magical spell, the 1001 Folds Arms move. I'll talk more a bit about this in the gameplay section of the video, but for now, you open up the wall using motion controls, which thankfully you can turn off. Thank you for the option, Nintendo. Thank you. I will appreciate that a lot. After you free the person from the wall using the thousand-fold arms technique, magic spell, whatever it's called, you meet your partner in crime, Olivia. Olivia is a psychic for the rest of the game. She learns more magic spells later on, or magic symbols, or techniques. I don't know what to call them. And you know what? I don't hate her. I don't hate her. I don't love her though. She does have some annoying moments, but she isn't all that bad, and there were some moments in the game that I enjoyed of her. You do learn a little bit more about her later on in the game, but I'm trying to make this where I'm not spoiling too much about the game. Overall story arc. You and her leave the room and see Bowser folded up through a small opening in the window, and as you watching him panic, you see someone turn his minions into origami people, aka folder soldiers, aka the pretty much the minions of the game. They're the enemies you're gonna be fighting throughout the game. And as you free him, you leave the basement and meet up with Princess Peach and a yellow folded shy guy asking you another question. After you beat up some low level guys, the yellow folded shy guy unfolds and turns into Ollie, the emo prince king as I have nicknamed him. Tell me he does not remind you of like the emo prince or emo type of people. He reminds me of the emo hairstyle that Entity had from Smosh way back then, if anyone don't know what the hell I'm talking about. Anyway, he's the main villain of the game, as well as Olivia's brother, so you got some inner family problems showing there. Then he proceeds to wrap up Peach's castle with paper or streamers, really, which I didn't know that were that strong to do that, and move to the top of a volcano. As you fall off, some random MVP Shy Guy saves you and the crew. P.S. or PS. I don't know, I put PS in my notes. P.S. Shy Guys are the cutest. Changed my mind. Yeah, that's very true. Also, you land in the forest. To get outside of the forest, or to leave the forest, whatever you want to call it, you help a giant tree get back his mojo. And while you get back into town, you see some paper maca goombas eating up confetti, leaving out holes in the wall. Again, I will talk more about the overall gameplay of this game, but just ignore the gameplay right now. We're just gonna focus on story, just on story. After you defeat one, you learn that the bridge is out, and the only way is to take a pipe into a sewer that leads you to a warp pipe that leads you across the bridge. And then you learn that the only way to get there is through a sewer, that you need a lid after you help out some shot guys that tells you that the lid opener is in the red building, and you get it and head over down to the sewer. Whatever. Moving on, you head inside to the castle. You get to where Peach's castle used to be and find where Luigi's hat landed. After you save him from a wall, again, I don't know why people being put in the walls, Luigi gets all hype up and says he will find the key to open up the castle door. He leaves and that's your luck for the rest of the game. You'll find him saying that he found a key for Peach's castle, but really he found a different key for a different lock that we actually just needed in that nick of time. This happens like 5 times, I swear. After he leaves, you walk up to the right side of the castle tower, and you, aka as Mario and Olivia, talk about the streamers right around Peach's castle, and that you need to destroy them or you can't get inside of the Peach's castle. As he knows the red stream is right next to you, you follow it to the boss. And now, after that, that's pretty much the basic of the story of the plot pacing. You find streamer, you follow it all the way through up to the boss, and then you find another one after right and beating that boss. This game is very linear. There is no open world to this game. There is some parts where you do some exploring in an area, but it's not like you choose which streamer goes away first. And you do get to learn more about your partner Olivia, and you do get some new partners like Bobby or the Professor, but they never stay for like the rest of the game. Each partner is kind of like chapter oriented, and some stay longer than others. And you do learn some more magical circles from elements, bosses that I will talk more in a second. And that leads you all the way up to the final boss battle with Ollie, the emo prince king. And there is some very basic areas, like there's an ocean, a desert, and a grassy plain area. But I would say I did enjoy the autumn forest and the sky islands. Now we are in the meaty stuff, talking about the two different main gameplay ideas in PMOK. One is the battle system, which itself I consider more of a puzzle gameplay style. There's certain things you need to figure out to get to the best results, while the other gameplay is more Mario-ish. If that's a word, you move, you dodge certain attacks, you look for an opening to strike in and kill your opponent. First, I will talk about the puzzle gameplay style. This is mostly what to do with the puzzle battles. Your starting goal is to either slide or turn the pieces around, while you put your targets either in a straight line or into a box 2x2 square. And once you do that, you use your boot weapons or flower items for the straight line targets. And for the square, you will use your hammer weapons or tail items. At this point, your end goal is to kill your targets fast and efficient as you can, just so you can take less damage and you will get a lot more coins at the end of the day as well. Now, about the boss battles, they're a bit more different. Instead of you being in the middle, you are outside the ring, moving them around, making a pathway to either a magical circle that you gotta turn or slide, or you can just end on a punch symbol to do normal attacks. Though, of all the bosses in the game, all have gimmicks, each one is different than the other, so it's up to you to figure out what to do and what not to do, aka don't break the scissors hold tab thingy, or you're going to have a rough time. Now you do have a certain number of moves and a certain amount of time you have for each fight, including the boss fights. And you do have tools that help you make it easier to solve the puzzles. One is using coins to add more time to allow yourself to think more clearly, while the other option is cheering. I will talk a bit more about that a bit more later, as we need to delve deeper about what are the toads and what they do and all that stuff. The other gameplay is a lot more basic stuff, as well as fighting paper Mako, or I think it's Mako. I think that's what you say. Mako type enemies. Pretty much they're bigger versions of normal guys that are made out of paper mache. When it seems like to me, they're the reason why you see so many holes around the areas. They're eating all the ground and all the confetti up, and you got to kill them all. So as you fill the holes up, not anymore make any more up. Pretty much. All of them have stickers that you have to hit them with a hammer to knock them off. Once you do, your goal is to hit them more with your hammer till they explode into tiny little pieces. but they do have invincibility after being hit, so it's not like you can spam it. And there will be boss versions that take more hits, but they're fun to fight and a nice change of pace. Now on to the collectibles. First one up are the toads. I think the toads are the most important ones because they help you out by cheering you on. Now while you're freeing toads, you notice more and more are cheering you on in the background while you're fighting. You can call them up with coins, duh, nobody's doing it for free. Of course not. And the more toads are free, the more coins you can put into them. If you put up the max, aka 999 coins, they will solve the puzzle for you and throw either stuff that hurt the enemies, healing items, or attacking gear for you. Not only do they help you in fights, but they also help you in the town. After you free some toads, they will tell you to meet them back in Toad Town, and they will aid you in the ways they can. That could be either by running a gear shop, fight lab, as well as the museum. So keep an eye out when they say they can give you a big hand. Next is the max HP hearts. Not only do they raise your max HP, which does in the name, they also raise your base damage, and the more HP you have, the stronger your attacks are. And once you get your HP to certain heights, you can first strike some enemies, thus killing them while going into battles. Needless to say, this is kind of important because it really does help you out, and it makes it where you take more damage and you'll be fine. Next are the accessories. There's a Heart Plus, a Guard Plus, and the Time Plus. Each one gives you what the name says. Heart Plus gives you more HP in battle. Guard Plus increases your defense while you're guarding. Time Plus will give you more time. Simple stuff, nothing really complicated with those items. After that, there is a bell for Toad, key blocks, and trophies. They ring when you're close to one in the open world. I mostly had the Toad bell on till the end of the game. After that, there are 6 more accessories. 2 of them affects your sound and looks, which is the Rexo Soundbox and the Cherry Blossom. For those who want to go full weave or full Rexo for a bit in the game's got you covered. Next one up is the Confetti Vacuum. Helps you suck up confetti from afar. Confetti. Confetti. What is it? Confetti? Confetti. Why did I write down as confetti? What is my fucking spelling? From anyway, you're also get a membership ship card item from shops. After you spend a certain amount of coins, this helps you lower the cost of stuff in all shops. Pretty useful, unlike the item that busts your partner attacks. Don't care for that item. And the coin step counter, after your step counter goes to 10,000, you will get 10k in coins added on. And this happens over and over again. Last couple of things I want to touch on are the holes that are all over the world. You can fill them up with confetti that you get out of your bag, and you will get coins out of them. So fill them as you go. If you need more confetti, just whack off a tree or a flower or something or killing the Mako enemies as well. They also give you confetti. And the trophies, well, they're just there for collecting. They're all over the world. Also in shops, so just keep a lookout for a chest or in shops, whatever, and you'll find them easy. Some may be hiding question mark blocks, but they're still pretty easy. Now that all the gameplay stuff and story main stuff is all talked about, let's head to another area where I want to touch upon some things that are either about the game design or stuff that really didn't really fit in the last few topics, as well as just stuff I just want to talk about that's either good or bad about the game. Okay, first thing I want to bring up is the streamer bosses. The elemental bosses all get a pass from me because I like their design and I do like their concept art more. Now the streamer bosses, aka the color pencils, rubber bands, hole puncture, fucking tape, scissors, and a stapler, their designs are very boring and dull. I think it would have been cooler to see like an origami like creature to wield each one as a weapon of sorts, talking about their tool of choice and how they're a master art with that tool. Next up, and I just want to re-say this again, but the pacing is nice, none of the zones feel rushed, and you do get to enjoy each one of the areas before you leave to the next zone. My favorite zone is the Sea World because, well, I get to be captain of a ship. Duh. I also like how the world looks and I do enjoy the visual of the game as well as the holes in the ground. Seeing the wire in the holes makes me want to help fix the world. Next up, and the biggest problem with this game is the lack of variety in many things. First, however, the NPCs. Most are just colored swamps and not very unique. Same can be said about your partners, which they don't really do much in fights. So they're more focused on the story bits of the game than the gameplay part, which is kind of lame. Actually, no, that is lame. They could have added more weapons as well, I mean, like you get a hammer and boots, and then the different type of hammer is the hurl hammer, which I use maybe once, and the other kind of boots you get is the metal boots, which lets you hop on spike enemies, and that's it for weapons. You do get different quality of weapons, but for the main part, there's only 4 different type of weapons, and then this goes double for basic enemies. I've never seen enemies so lackluster in a Paper Mario game. Maybe in Sticker Star, but I don't really remember. Let me use an example, like the Folder Goomba. The only other version of a Goomba there is in this game is the Parrot Goombas, and that's it. And the Folder Goomba is the same Folder Goomba throughout the game. So after you get your first max HP upgrade, you can first strike Folder Goombas in Zone 1, 2, and in the final zone as well. And they do 0 damage to you if you happen to get to a fight with them in the last zone. So that makes him very lackluster and very lame. Overall, I don't hate this game, but I don't love it like I do with Super Paper Mario or Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door. And I do think this game is better than Sticker Star. And from what I heard, I think this game is better than Color Splash. I had more fun with this game than I thought I would from what I saw from the trailer. So that's a big plus. If someone told me they wanted to buy this game, I would have told them to wait until the price is around $30 to $40. This isn't a $60 game, but that don't mean it's a bad game. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed me fumbling around with my thoughts about this game. I didn't really have a clear idea about how I feel about this game because how much I love the series. And I'm glad I made this video. Maybe I could do more videos like this in the future. But anyway, take it away, outro. Hey guys, this is Ken the Blue here. If you guys want more videos like this, please hit that like button and subscribe. Also, comment down below if you have any questions or anything. Or any tips y'all can help me out with. Anyway, y'all have a good day or a good night, wherever time zone it is.